Haiden Deegan, man. So round 2 of your professional career. What did you learn from last week?
I learned a lot from last week. Got the full experience, definitely. And I learned that we need to, use your head a little more sometimes. But overall, it was good. Second qualifying, I think, qualified P12, and I feel like I qualified pretty good. And just went to the races. Felt good. I just was hoping to, get in the top 10. And first lap of the first moto, I lost my rear brake. So the whole time I was just rolling, trying to flow the track. Stayed in 11th for 30 minutes, and then 2 laps to go, just made a dumb decision, trying to jump a wall. And, did a little front flip. Definitely hurt my knee a little bit, but definitely didn't want to give up there, get some more time on the track in the second moto. So we went out and raced it, ended up getting taken out in the third turn. And I was like, all right, what else can happen today? So started like 30 seconds back and just charged my way up. And got used to riding the track a little more, riding the rough tracks, and yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if having a kind of a bad opening weekend was good for you, because if you went 1-1, then there's nowhere to go but down.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely, it was going out there and definitely getting thrown around like that taught me a lot, and definitely kind of took the pressure off, giving me more of a coming to this round, just go work on a few things, and definitely do better than last week. That's my goal. So yeah.
You just said the word pressure. A kid with so much hype like yourself coming in, there's so much pressure. There's so much money when this sport becomes professional. Do you feel that pressure, or are you still just racing because you love it and it's fun?
No, you definitely do feel the pressure. I mean, everyone has a lot of opinions, and I see that, and it definitely a little pressure coming in. I try to not think about it, try to think as it, and just go out there and do my best, and that's what I kind of went towards, that mindset, and I think I did that. And definitely for this next round, though, it's more of just go out there, have fun. I don't feel a lot of pressure, but I definitely do. I put pressure on myself because I want to go do good, obviously. But besides that, yeah, we're feeling good.
Yeah, you just kind of mentioned like you see the comments basically, right? Yeah. I think of Chad Reed, who is very polarizing. Either people love Chad Reed or they could not stand Chad Reed.
Yeah.
And for some reason, there's sort of that same thing with you. Like, people love Danger Boy, or they're like, oh, we're tired of hearing about Danger Boy. And I don't think these people know the real Haiden Deegan.
Yeah.
Because I've talked to you a few times, and you're a super smart kid. You're really down to earth. Does that bother you then when you see all the negative comments from the keyboard warriors who really don't know what's going on?
I see it, and it really doesn't. It honestly motivates me more. I'm like, dang, you want me to do bad? Sweet, I'm going to go do good then. Let's do it. And I kind of feed off of it, and bad publicity is still publicity. So even if it is coming at you bad, you're still getting talked about. But definitely want to have good publicity behind you and good people behind you. And, you see the real fans that stick behind you, and then the fans that are like, they just want to tear you down and see you fail. But that motivates you to do better.
Awesome.
So the nuts and bolts of your first pro race, I think of your amateur national, especially Loretta's, like, cool, you line up once or twice a day. You're just sitting around, twiddling the thumbs. Amateur weeks can be pretty spread out, but I don't think a lot of guys realize when they go to your first pro national, like, it starts at 7:30 in the morning, and you're off the track, talk to the team, cool down, back on the track. Did any of that catch you off guard at Ironman, just how quickly it was going by?
Yeah, it definitely does. It's crazy, Get out from qualifying, you go back, you take your grind of power, you get a little bit of food in you, and then you're out for your first moto. And then you get back from the first moto, you're instantly getting almost you have a little bit of rest time, and you're back up for the next moto. And it definitely was it was crazy to get used to, because you're like, right when you get back, it's time to go again. And you got to learn to quick recover. So going to Loretta's, and it's like a 5-day event, and you're so spread apart. Going to these races is nice, where you just, it's boom, boom all day.
So far, I think some guys, as they get later in their career, of course, like sometimes they feel like a grind of all the travel and how quick the day goes. But for you, the opposite of doing the amateurs, you actually enjoyed how the program goes by.
Yeah, definitely. I got into the race, and I was like, this is super fun. Even when I was on the track, when I was running 11th and no rear brake, and we're in front, the guys in front of me are like, dude, I'm battling some fast guys right now. This is sick. And I was having so much fun out there. It was just exciting, and I hope to just do that this week again.
So what do you think, compared to the competition? You race amateurs or pros, where you said you're running around 11th. Everybody's got different opinions of what a pro debut should look like. We've had, back in the day, I'd say the late 90s, early 2000s, somebody like a Carmichael would come out and be around that, and that was respectable. But then some people have this opinion that you should have to come out and be a top 3 out of the bat. But that's the thing, it's amateurs, you race a couple fast guys, now there's probably 20 dudes out there that rip.
Yeah, it definitely is an eye-opener. When you race these guys, there's not, 3 to 5 fast kids. It's 15 fast guys, 15 factory guys that can probably, most of those guys can win. Like, they have won. And it's definitely an eye-opener battling with those guys, because you're like, it just matters where you start, to be honest. If you get a whole shot, it's a lot easier to run up front than starting in the back, obviously, but it's an eye-opener how fast those guys are.
Do you think being there's a lot of teams that have had amateur programs for years now, but particularly what Star Racing is doing right now at the Goat Farm, having you guys there, I see, the videos you guys put out of you literally doing sprints all day with everybody on the team. Does that kind of help that transition? It's not just, I ride with one fast dude. It's like I get gauge drops with dudes that can kick my teeth in literally all day, every day. So did that help you with that transition? Was it not shocking to be around that many guys that could go quick on the line?
Yeah, definitely training with all those guys. We do all the exact training program, even when I, my first week training with Star, I was doing the exact same thing they were doing. There was no easing into it. It was literally first day you're hammering down already. So you jump right into the program, and we're all training. And that's why I know I was a little unhappy how I did at Ironman, because I know when I can battle with those guys, and I know I definitely could have done better. And but mistakes happen, and you learn from it. And it's definitely cool, though, doing sprints with those guys and knowing, you can battle with Justin. We do motos and stuff. We all battle with each other. We're all very close in speed. So it's doing that. You're I think I could run up there in a pro national. It just matters where you start on the start.
I think interesting to talk about is progression of how long you've actually been on big bike. I look at Loretta's last year. You won your Super Mini titles. Noah Vina got second in one class. He did a national or two at the beginning of this year. And yourself, same thing. You guys both went big bike at Lorez, and you've already raced a pro national. That's pretty intense, considering there's some kids that do a BA year. There's some kids that do a schoolboy, a B year, maybe 2 B years, an A year. Where do you want to go from here? It's already been pretty fast progression, but if I gave you the magic wand for next year to pick what you want to do, what would you be the happiest to go do?
I think doing these 2 rounds is an eye-opener on what we need to work on, and we'll see what else we need to work on after this round. But next year is it's my goal is to really, I'd love to run up front with those guys, top 3. And I think I could do it training, I do train really hard with all the guys. It's definitely a grind, and to know you can last all these motos at full pace the whole time is really good to know. And it's just a few key things you need to work on and get to. And next year, I want to be running up front with those guys.
Nice. What would you like next year? Do you think you'll be more like a Loretta's through A and then some nationals, or you think maybe we'll see you on the line the whole outdoor season? Or
I'm right now the plan is I'm hoping I can just do the full outdoor season next year, and I think doing these 2 was just kind of learn it, and then next year would be full time. I definitely was quick going from straight from Loretta's B class to go race a pro national. Not every person does that. But I think it was training with those guys and seeing where I could finish, seeing how long I could do these motos for. It was just it was time, I got there and give it a go. And even though we did make a few mistakes, we learned from them and know that we can fit in with these guys.
Flashback 12 months ago, you're just getting on big bike. You're trying to figure out who you were going to be, what deal you were going to sign. We're here 12 months later. Do you look back at it? Are you proud? Are you pretty surprised?
Yeah, definitely. I was looking at it. Got off a Super Mini after Loretta's, got a stock 250, rode that for a couple months, probably a month or 2 maybe, and then signed my contract with Star. And from there, just kind of been putting the hammer down. But I'm definitely surprised going from a Super Mini to a year later racing a pro national. So it definitely opens your eyes to some crazy possibilities, and if you work towards it, some goals that you can achieve.
I got one more for you. Just the things you've been learning. What do you feel like is the number one thing you need to work on to get to the next step?
I think the next thing I need to work on is, we train with these guys. I train with Justin. Justin's won races. I train with Levi. Levi's won races. I train with Nate. Nate's won Supercross races. All these guys have won, and I can battle with these guys in our motos and stuff. So I think, the key thing for me is just to wrap my head around knowing that I could battle with those guys and get good starts. I need to get up in front on the starts, and I think I could weasel my way in to fit in.